And away we go. It is the nightcap, brought to you by our good friends at Hail Mary Sports Bar in Cheviot. They're on Harrison Avenue in the Dora District. So you can hang out there. You can walk from bar to bar with your drinks, or you can just stick around, watch the 27 TVs, 3 facing outside if it's a nice day. They've got a 9-screen video wall. There's not a bad seat in the house. They subscribe to every sports package that DirecTV offers. You can stream all the games, and Cincinnati Sports will always be on the 9-screen video wall. They have a brand new walk-in cooler, brand new draft lines, and their cooling system is brand new. Not only do they pour the coldest beer around, but they do so in 32.8 degree frosted glasses. All right, Aaron. We are done with the BCJ pod, and that means it's Wednesday night. It is time to take a look at the Big 12. We normally do this on we do this on Wednesdays because a lot of weeks there's Thursday and Friday games. That makes it, we guarantee that we're going to get those games included. This week, nothing during the week. All the games are on Saturday. And while not everybody is in conference play yet, we are at that point where the conference games start kicking off. And we're going to get a better feel for this league here real quick. And I'll ask you. Mo Egger said this today. I've heard this sentiment quite a bit. Do you think this is a down Big 12 this year?
I think that when people were as high as they were on Kansas, when people were as high as they were on West Virginia, when Arizona's already lost the game.
Well, they played a Big 12 team.
Was it
Somebody's got to lose?
Was it a Big 12 game, though?
No, but they played a Big 12 team. No. That's why I didn't say it was a Big 12 game.
Just saying.
But I'm saying somebody in the Big 12 had to lose that game, correct?
Well, but they were a top 25 ranked team.
Sure. And Kansas State did kind of put it on them a little bit.
A little bit. Well, they needed to, truthfully.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to say it's a down year yet, but I don't know. Outside of, I'm still not impressed by Kansas State. Utah has, without Cam Rising.
Cam Rising's back this week. They say he's back this week.
Okay. Oklahoma State
probably get hurt again this week.
Without their running back being a superstar. I don't know what's going on with Ollie Gordon. And again, Kansas and West Virginia have been the biggest disappointments, I guess. So I don't know that I'm necessarily ready to say it's a down year. It's certainly not anything to write home about yet, but you could say the ACC is on a down year. Florida State's been an embarrassment to the sport.
Yeah. They might go 0-4 this week.
They are the only team in the Power 4 that has not won a game.
They've got a big-time conference battle with Cal.
Jesus.
How can you not look forward to ACC football when you've got Cal, Florida State, and Syracuse? Washington? No, not is it Washington State, Syracuse? So I don't know. Whatever. Whoever Syracuse played. Stanford, Syracuse. Yeah, Stanford, Syracuse. Just 2 marquee ACC matchups in week 4. But let's get to the Big 12 stuff as we get things rolling. Houston, Cincinnati. We've already kind of done a bunch on that one, and we'll do a bunch more. That brings us to maybe the most interesting game of the week right off the bat here. And the only other noon game, Kansas 1-2, West Virginia 1-2. Both of these teams had high hopes coming into the season. Both of these teams, they're not as disappointing as Florida State, but they are not off to the start that people thought. And for Kansas, that's even more concerning because Jalen Daniels has been healthy and bad. So
2-2 is very different than 1-3.
Yeah.
Very, very, very different.
Very different. I mean,
if you are 1-3,
favored by what? 2.5?
2.5 currently. If you are 1-3 and looking at the rest of your season and conference play, looming, you are not feeling good about anything. That said, give me West Virginia. I have not seen anything out of Jalen Daniels that I believe he is who Jalen Daniels was before his injury last year. And I hope to God he's no longer wearing the Apple Watch pendant around his neck with his highlight reel streaming on it.
I have been higher on Kansas coming into the season. You have been higher on West Virginia coming into this season.
Yeah.
I am going to go Kansas. I don't think West Virginia is good. I didn't think Pitt was good. I guess that says something about where I think Cincinnati is at. But we also thought Cincinnati would be a 6-6 or 7-5 team. We didn't think that. Most people didn't think that about West Virginia. Most people definitely didn't think that about this Kansas team with Daniels and Devin Neal like orchestrating this offense. I think West Virginia's defense is dreadful. I think Kansas gets back on track before West Virginia does. And with West Virginia's schedule, I don't know that they ever get on track. West Virginia might need this more, but I think Kansas goes in there and gets the dub.
This might be the last win that West Virginia gets until mid-November against Baylor.
When's the Cincinnati? Did they play Baylor before Cincinnati?
They play Baylor the week after Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean they might get Cincinnati. I think both teams are about on par, and we saw what their run game did to Cincinnati, and we're worried about Cincinnati's run defense. But yeah, I'm going to go Kansas. I'm not confident. I don't know that I wouldn't touch this one with a 50-foot pole. I wouldn't touch this one.
I'm with you. We don't know who these teams are.
Right. But what we know is they might be bad.
I think I'd also
56.5.
I was going to say, I think I'd take the under on the 56.5 because I don't know that either of these teams can score 30.
Yeah, I'm with you. An easy one, Arkansas State 2-1 at Iowa State. The spread is Iowa State 20 by 22. The total 51.5. I mean, Iowa State's offense has not been great so far at times this season. I think they cover. I think it goes over. I think this will be a fun day in Ames for the Iowa State folk and for Cyclone Larry.
If you're looking to get your offense on track, because they haven't scored more than 22 in a game, and they've only played 2 games thus far. But if you're looking to throw a gob of points up, you got to do it against Arkansas State.
Yeah. Long-time Big 12 rivalry. The Arizona State Sun Devils travel into Lubbock to take on Texas Tech. Texas Tech favored by 3, total 59.5. Arizona State to date has been the surprise of the conference. Texas Tech did not look good the first 2 weeks. Could have scored 100 last week if they wanted to.
Killed me.
They did this last year where they weren't very impressive the first 2 weeks and then kind of took off after that. I'm interested to see if that holds. I think I'm going Texas Tech here. Arizona State has had success running the ball and kind of controlling games. I don't think they're going to be able to do that in Lubbock.
Give me Arizona State over Texas Tech. I still wouldn't bet this one either because, again, I'm not sure we know quite who these teams are yet. Even with Texas Tech favored by 3, even though I'm taking Arizona State and 59.5.
I think you got to go under if you're taking Arizona State because they want to control the clock, control the ball.
Probably. But I feel like Arizona State has scored more at will than Texas Tech, at least against the people that they've played. Texas Tech, that Washington State game is still standing out to me like a sore thumb.
But yeah, that's the one game where their offense struggled. They barely beat Abilene Christian or whatever, but they scored 52 in that game. And then they scored 60 something or 70 or whatever last week. So they've had a bad week offensively. The other 2 have been pretty high scoring, but I guess that's what I'm getting to when I say under if you're going to take Arizona State. I think Arizona State's going to have to control the tempo.
I think it's going to be a fascinating game, truthfully.
Yeah. It'll give us a really good indication of where Arizona State is at in comparison to their 3-0 start.
Sure, I agree.
The game with the most, headline or marquee or whatever, 4:00 on Fox. That Texas Tech Arizona State game is 3:30 on FS1. Utah, number 12, Oklahoma State, number 14. This game is in Stillwater. Cam Rising is expected to be back for this game. I don't know what to think here. Oklahoma State favored by 2, total 52.5.
I think that we are going to find out that Utah is a lot louder than they are good at football. And Oklahoma State is going to crush the 2.5 spread. They're going to win by double digits, 10 points at least. I think Oklahoma State is ready for this one. I will not.
They better figure out what's going on with Ollie Gordon if they're gonna do that.
You're right, but his backup hasn't been dreadful.
Yeah. Do you want to count on it? Like, Utah is physical. Like, I don't like their fans, but that's a good, physical, tough football team.
I don't disagree, but their fans are very loud, and I would love to see them lose. I don't want to see Utah win their first year in this conference.
It's fair. I think Utah wins with Cam Rising. Without Cam Rising, I would have said no. I guess the caveat there is, like, how good does he look? But you don't get the benefit of knowing that, huh?
You're on the road.
Yeah, I think Utah is the better team here, at least right now, with Cam Rising.
Stillwater can be loud.
You can. And they'll be fired up for this one, a 4:00 game on Fox for sure. 96 degrees in Stillwater.
Oof.
On Saturday at 4:00, dead of the afternoon.
Yuck.
So what, 2:00 Central? So that game's going to go from 2 to 5, like just the absolute 2 to 6, the absolute scorching heat of the day in the middle of Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's wearing white, right?
Oklahoma State, I would hope so.
I can't imagine they're wearing their black or orange.
You're supposed to wear dark colors at home, but they'll have the chance to pick. So we'll see. I would do everything I could to make sure I was in white. I think the visiting team has to agree to that, though.
I think you're right.
If I'm Utah, I'm like, nah, fam. We'll rock the whites. I would be in the oranges then for sure. I wouldn't be in the blacks.
No, it's whatever you can do to not be in black.
Yeah, it's gonna be scorching. Another interesting one on the CW, because that's where ACC teams are located sometimes this year. TCU at SMU, Gerald J. Ford Stadium in Dallas. The weather for that one, Aaron, 97.
Goodness.
For the 5:00 kickoff. Come on, Sonny Dykes. You can't lose this game, Sonny Dykes.
I agree.
TCU's a 3-point favorite. The total's 58.5. I'm afraid he will, but you can't.
TCU is favored on the road. I got to think that they're 3 is a weird number to be favored by. I don't know that until it hits a half point, you just wait, sit on it until it hits 2.5. I'm not taking it at 3, but I agree. You have to win this game. You can't lose to SMU.
I'll reluctantly take TCU, but something in my brain tells me if it's a coach that I don't know a ton about versus Sonny Dykes, I'll probably take the coach I don't know a ton about.
If TCU loses this game, then Mo Egger has every right to stand on his soapbox and talk about it being a down year for the Big 12.
That's fair. Baylor at Colorado, both teams 2-1. Colorado a 1.5-point favorite. That surprises me. I'm on Baylor big here.
Colorado at 1.5. Colorado's a mess. They're a mess.
Yeah.
I don't believe in Baylor though, and I think think Colorado is going to win by more than 1.5. I think they sneak by. It's going to be a close game, but I think Baylor is still reeling from last season.
Yeah, and then another interesting one, 10:30 on ESPN, Big 12 After Dark, number 13, Kansas State at BYU, both teams 3-0. Kansas State favored by 6.5, total 48.5. I'm on Kansas State, so I'm gonna roll with it. But weird things happen up at altitude in Provo.
BYU money line is plus 200. Just saying. Just saying.
And it's what we've talked about with Avery Johnson, right? BYU can throw it around. If it gets into a scoring match, can Avery Johnson move the ball consistently enough through the air to win a game?
Running's going to be difficult.
And this could be an upset alert.
I'm not going
to go
against
Kansas State, but
I am too. I'm going to go Kansas State. I'm not going to touch the 6.5 points. I don't think they win by a full touchdown. But I'm not going against Kansas State after last week going against Kansas State and getting burned.
All right. That's going to wrap it up. We'll see you tomorrow night at some point in time for 3 Keys, and then Bearcats and Cougars on Saturday. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.